Bedroom. I'll see you later on.
Thank you. Okay. What time should we leave?
We've got to be there for like our story starts at 5.
My bad.
Shake what your mum and David. Right then, I'll kick things off. I know there's a couple of people still on their way because I've just seen them hanging about, but they'll be here in a moment. But we'll kick things off with the basics. My name is Andy. Welcome. My badge name is HomoCap. If you ever get to meet me outside of here, you can try and find me by that one. I go by various different badge names. So, Big Screaming Queen. One of them is a possibility for future reference. But if you have any questions, by all means, if you can answer them quickly, great. If you can't, if I can't even, then I'll answer them at the end. I'm going to leave a little bit of time for questions and whatnot. This is going to be a bit of a tongue-in-cheek panel. It's Got One style, so it's not going to be...
Call you Auntie Andy.
You can call me Auntie Andy if you like.
Got Milford.
Got Milford if you like.
Andy One to his friend.
Andy One to my friends. I'll give you a brief one on me. I have been cosplaying for, it's going to be about 4 years now. 3 or 4 years now. And in that time, I've had some pretty good runs and some pretty horrendous disasters, as we all have, I suspect. I've worked in the retail industry for 8 years. More recently, I've just started a new job with House of Fraser as a visual merchandiser. Basically, get to run around and play with mannequins and window dressings for a living. Once a month, we get to sit down and look at fashion magazines. It's great. To that end, that's not just pointless information for you. It kind of builds up what I'm hoping to give you guys. With that experience, I've been able to get a better idea on cut, fit, shape, everything to do with a woman's body or a man's body, having served the general public. Those guys of you who work in a shop or in retail, just whack your hands up. Well, not many of us then. You know my pain though, of being able to have to stand there and, with a customer. It's great. It really is. But that has benefited me no end, so hopefully I can pass that on to you guys today. So we'll kick things off. Looking good and feeling good. The main part of cosplay is our hobby. We do it because it's fucking brilliant. It's hilarious fun when you get a cosplay that works and it fits great. When it doesn't though, it can be a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Now I can't count the amount of people I've heard, oh I feel frumpy, my costume doesn't fit, it doesn't sit right here. Show of hands, who's ever thought that? Thank God I'm not alone. Whether it is a kimono or an intricate dress, it can come down to the very minimal of things, to a seam line, a dart, even down to the right underwear. To that end, cosplay itself is a form of fashion and should be treated as such. It is essentially a couture fashion or a couture style, simply because it's individual, it's not mainstream, and the amount of fucking money we put into that damn hobby is unreal. Any Parisian fashion designer worth their salt will look at you and go, yeah, I know your pain. Any designer will. So, that said, don't worry if it don't come out great. You're not alone. Right, so we'll move on for our first stop. Body shapes are an absolute must to know. If you are someone who finds it difficult with your clothing in normal practices and every day, you'll feel frumpy and horrible because you've worn the wrong top, the jeans don't fit, you feel you're a bit bloated, all that sort of thing can really change the way you feel. But to that end, knowing your body shape is a great way of getting around that. There are, in total, 5 body shapes for men, 5 body shapes for women. Those of you who have watched Got One will bloody well know what he's been talking about. Again, show of hands, who's watched Got stuff? Yeah. So I'm basically preaching to the crowd at the moment, aren't I? Right, okay. Well, that said, these 5 body types can be incredibly easy to find and decipher. However, they can be on the converse, absolute fucking nightmare to try and find out and decipher. Again, from feeling frumpy and horrible, that can come from, especially women, it can come from you feeling bloated and a particular time of the month where aren't flow visits. You know, clothes just don't fit. Your boobs can't, you know, your boobs are bigger. Take on a bit more water. It's just not fun, and it can alter the way your clothes fit and feel. Now, going about it, I'm kind of flagging here, and this is early on.
Keep going. We love you, Andy!
Knowing your body fit, your body shape can change anything from your patterns to what stitch you used to use. So hopefully with this next slide we can, you know, see what's what. However, before I go on to the next one, I'd like some audience participation. It basically involves you whacking your hands up for a minute, and then I get to pull out some people from the audience. So apologies.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying sorry because you're being pulled up. I'm saying sorry. Well, just be courteous. Show of hands, who knows the 5 main female body types? I just want name, just hands up and just throw out a name.
Hourglass.
Cracking, hourglass figure. That is the fashion industry's standard figure. They use it in particular because it's easy, it's balanced. Both measurements between here and here are absolutely equal. If you find you look at different aspects, so say Nana there, her legs are incredibly long, her torso comes in where at the waist, comes out the shoulders and at the hips. That is because it's easier to draw that way, because it brings more attention to the garment. A long perspective will show off more of the garment as opposed to the detail. Detail comes later on in the designing process when they can actually get down to the manufacturing part of it. Right, I want another one. Lex. Pear. Fantastic. Pear shape is the most popular body shape in the United Kingdom. 63% of all women in this country are pear-shaped, funnily enough, and you'll find it is one of the easiest to dress. So this is where I need to ask my first volunteer. Have the lovely Rachel. Big round of applause for Rachel, Rachel is my lovely pear shape. She's fantastic. She's my stand-in, dear. Now, in this outfit, Rachel's wearing is Hikaru from Magic Mike's Ray Earth. The fantastic thing is, Rachel is a pear shape, which means she's got a cracking bum, fantastic set of hips, broad bust, so she's quite buxom, obviously. The difference is, with the pear shape, the shoulders are slightly narrower than the hips. So you'll find that in that sense, you can be a little bit off balance. However, Rachel's done a fantastic thing with this dress. What she's done is, because of the pleated design at the bottom, it comes out and accentuates everything here into a nice bell skirt, so it brings everything into proportion around here. That's the first stage. What she's then done is, because cinching around bust just around here, bringing it in slightly, she's made her waistline look smaller. Her puff sleeves, which is the main thing you pear shapes need to look out for, accentuate her shoulders. The main idea, if you can come away with anything from this section, is balance. Balance is the key thing you need to have. So making sure that these babies match these babies. Everything in between, you can sort that out later. Right bra, good pair of kecks, you're good to go. But as far as Rachel's concerned, her shoulders are in proportion because she's got these wonderful puff sleeves. They've brought it out and brought it into perspective and into proportion. That said, if you haven't got anything with a puff sleeve on it, anything that's strappy is fantastic to wear. Because the eye basically looks at this section just here when you're a pear shape, because your shoulder's a little bit smaller. Best thing with strappy tops, especially halter necks, it starts your shoulder line in further in. If you start your shoulder line here, and your skin starts here, the only bit you're going to see of shoulder is this bit, so you're going to look stunted and slimmer. If, however, you start them here, there's more skin to play with, in every sense of the word. So you can actually go away and think, actually, in the mirror, I look damn important. I look fab, because you're in proportion. That is the main thing that cosplay sadly don't give you, because animators, artists, whatever, will go with hourglass. You have to sadly attend to that particular type. Obviously, in some cases you can't. Bodysuits, they're an absolute nightmare, but what can you do? Thank you very much, Rachel. Big round of applause for Rachel. Okay, next one. That's number 2. I want the third, please.
Apple.
Apple. Yes, apple. You ladies and men who are apple, yes, men too can be apples. Some might think a bit blobby and a bit fat. You're fucking wrong. Your hips and your shoulders, you'll find, are near enough perfect alignment, like an hourglass. You're just built to carry a little bit more around here. You retain more around your waistline because your rib cage and your pelvis are shaped concave. So you push everything inwards, if you see what I mean. So everything sort of goes, So you have that, not so much a spare tyre, but you have that little bit more around the middle, if you see what I mean. The only thing is with that shape, build your shoulders up, build your waist up, find something with an empire line. An empire line is something that frames you just underneath your boobs. And to tell you what, maxi dresses are brilliant for it. Basically, they sit here and just go, whoop. I love it when it's unscripted. But more often than not, maxi dresses are constructed to make sure that they sit just under the bust line. Some will be strappy, some will be halter. Most will have a built-in empire line and sit like, a bit like a boob tube. I tend to frame you in the best way. No matter what shape you are, they do wonders. So if you girls want something nice for the summer to wear, maxi dresses are the way forward. Cool. Right, that is 3. Right, there's 2 more.
Strawberry.
Strawberry. Thank you, Minxie. Strawberries. I need my next volunteer, please. Sorry, you're in the second row, honey. This is Lou, Gunstyle Vixen. Big round of applause. She's rather a little bit famous. She's been around on the con scene for quite a while. So if you don't know her, you might know her bum a little bit more than anyone else.
Turn around, honey. Oh, yeah.
Right, Lou is a fantastic example of the strawberry shape. She has, again, fantastic bum, we all know, fantastic boobs, obviously. But in this case, Lou's shape, she's wider at her shoulders as opposed to her hips. Not greatly, because everybody's obviously still individual. You don't have to be wingdings and landing yourself with your shoulders, but sometimes those odd proportional changes can make all the difference. The nice thing here is that the way Lou has darted the dress and sewn the dress in, because obviously her dress has got princess seams in it. No, it's just got darts. It's just got darts. Basically, brings her in wonderfully under the bust and accentuates everything around here, which is extremely helpful.
Boobs.
Precisely. But not only that, the way it's started brings her in here and pulls her out here ever so slightly, so she looks a lot more in proportion. She has that wonderful symmetrical hourglass figure. Other than that, this is Lou. She's amazing. Round of applause for Lou. Right, that's 4. I want one more.
Triangle.
You've had that one.
Have we?
That's your pear shape.
Oh. Rectangle.
Rectangle. You pillars and boxes. You may think you stand there a little bit like a blob on a box. Oh yeah. Sorry, Carrie. Can I? This is Carrie. She's amazing. Round of applause. Rectangles. You tend to have your shoulders and your hips in proportion. You line up quite equally. The wonderful thing is about rectangles, they are one of the easier shapes, again, to style because there's so much to play with. With that, your bust and your hips and your waist and your shoulders are near enough perfect alignment. You'll find that accentuating certain areas like your shoulders and your hips, again, the better idea of what you can do. With Carrie, what she's done with her outfit, the shoulder line, like I was talking with Pear Shapes, her shoulders are bare, but the fabric starts down here, so it gives it a bit more of a wider axis around the bust. So it means everything is open and everything you can see here, which means it basically she looks wider than she should do. But it's all tricking the eye. That said, you have princess seams. Yes! Right, princess seams are fantastic. We'll get onto them later, but basically they curve down your bust. So basically bring you in here, pull you out here, and they create shape. That is their main function. They're like darts, but longer. They actually are a seam you can use. But as I say, they bring you in through the torso, out through the bum, and give you definition. Thank you very much, Carrie. Big round of applause.